Drop the beat. What's going on, everybody? We are back in here once again with another live stream. Shout out to you guys for being in here, being involved, and being active on this channel. Good morning, good evening, or good night from wherever and whenever you are tuning in. Shout out to the live gang, replay gang, watching this in the future. And of course, the Lurk Squad. Good morning, everybody. Today is Money Day, aka Melanin Monday, aka Monday, May the 4th, aka Star Wars Day. And in honor of that, I say, may the 4th be with you and with your spirit, and also with you. Shout out to you all. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I certainly did. Hey, what's going on here? Oh, okay, it's lagging a bit. Let it catch up. All right, go ahead, catch up. Catch up. Let me go ahead and check for any audio issues while this thing catches up. Mic check. I'll probably have to refresh all this ish. Yeah. Refresh. Is it still buggy? It's still buggy. Oh, well, man, Scuff is always here. The Scuff is ever present. Hey, man, Scuff just adds character to the streams. All right. Are we back? Okay, I think we're good now. It stopped messing up. Yeah, we good. Let me go live over here. Mic check. Mickety, mic check. Mic check. Nice. Sweet. All right, so far so good. All three platforms are excelente. Okay, let me go back over here and pull up the chat. Happy Monday. Let's start off the week right. Today was arm day for me. Got an excellent pump. My biceps and my triceps. Hell yeah. Feeling great. Finished not too long ago. Woke up a little exhausted though. God damn. Yesterday was leg day and shoulder day. I do believe I did some core too. Unless I'm forgetting. I don't know.
Nope.
Either way, had a great weekend. Hope you all did as well. Today we'll be reviewing the Tunetank that dropped on Friday for the OB34 item and God balance changes that will be dropping tomorrow. That's right, alongside our boy Atlas. One of the number one requested support guardian in the game. So let's go ahead, without further ado, jump in.
Good afternoon.
We are in studio once again with... Okay, let me go ahead. Bam, there, we got ourselves a mic. We got ourselves a mic right there. Look, we even have a body now, too. We are not with Kilgoon.
Nope.
We are instead with Hindu Man and a new guy. Not sure who that guy is.
Nope.
Oh, we'll find out, though. So let me just press play. And, of course, Manny the Mannequin, which we've taken over his body. It's us, chat. We're in studio as well.
Good afternoon, and welcome into another Tunetank. I'm Hindu Man, and as you can see, that is not Kilgoon alongside me today. This is Austin.
Oh, hello. Oh, he's the famous Austin they've talked about. Welcome, Austin, to the Tunetank. May this not be your last appearance.
Nope.
May we see you again. All right, let's see what Austin has to say.
Hi, Austin, Titanforge Austin. Austin's been around a long time. with the game longer than me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm an old head for sure.
But nobody really knows it because you've never really been on camera that much, maybe on some or a couple of games here or there for the most part. But you are back full-time working on SMITE 2 now.
That's right.
And how's
First time meeting this guy.
Just a little bit closer because I'm going to get told off by chat.
Sorry, guys.
It's my fault for not warning you beforehand. Quick update. What's up, Austin? How are you? How long have you been with us? Tell us about your story. I guess just so
please inform us, enlighten us.
Can all find out about you.
So I've been around SMITE for a very long time. I actually started at High Res as an intern shortly just before SMITE 1 Alpha.
Before Alpha?
Before Alpha.
Oh my god!
So for a very long.
Whoa, he's like an OG. Shout out to Austin. Before Alpha days. Woo-wee. All right, so he's been around the block several times. Sweet. All right, it's good to know. So he's not like he's completely new and out of the blue. He's a well-seasoned veteran, well-experienced man.
Time.
That's crazy.
Initially was not working on SMITE.
Yeah.
But then I think it was season 6, either 5 or 6, is when I started working on SMITE directly. But I worked on a couple of other things. I worked on, for those of you who remember, Hand of the Gods. I worked on that for a little while. And then I spent some time at Prophecy, this sister company, working on Dead Zone Rogue. And some other stuff that is didn't ever make it live, but yeah.
There's always stuff going on. Yeah.
And then I was working on SMITE 2 for quite a while as well. Worked on a lot of gods that are.
I want to say Ganesh was the last one I remember you being involved in.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Release.
Ganesh was the last one before I went back to Prophecy to help out for a little while.
Cool. I only mentioned that just because the fans who are like tuning in, watch the show and stuff will remember the Ganesh release and how solid he was. So there'll be a bit of confidence there. Like, okay, cool. I guess he does know if he knows Ganesh.
Yeah. Okay, so he does know what's what. That's what's up. So he's been. Was that when I started doing the Titan Talk? I don't even remember.
Nope.
It's been a while. So he's been with SMITE 2 and then he stopped and now he's returning. Okay, that's cool.
Came out really well as well. I'm really excited. So thank you so much for joining me today. Obviously, Kilgoon's out. He's kind of busy with a couple of things at the moment, so that's why he's not available. And Austin kind of jumped on last minute, wasn't prepared to be on the show. And for the most part, we won't see Austin too often because he's always busy in the back room most of the time, working away on the game. So see this as an exception. But he's here to kind of go through balance with us today, answer the questions in chat, and do some...
Acceptable. Hey, if this is his one moment to appear and then he never appeared, I respect the decision. I now have a face to the name, so I'm good. I'm glad I met him. I'm glad you all met him. If you haven't met him yet, this is a great opportunity and a great experience that we'll be having here for the next hour or so. No, more like 2. Let's be honest. I tend to double the time on these things. Hello, play. Hello, are we dead? Did we die? Not playing.
Updates as well.
Okay.
Speaking of updates, I will quickly just go through a couple of mentions. First of all, chat, we've got an art competition that's going on.
That was weird.
Now, the Petals and Palettes competition.
That's right, artists. You have a couple more days until the submission period ends. The voting will start on the 7th of May and will finish on the May 15th. Prize is first place, 5,000 diamonds. I don't want to hyperbolize these values.
Nope.
Because it wouldn't be right. Right? And that'd be some unnecessary heat on me for being a jokester, trying to be goofy, right? So let's just keep it honest. Second place, 2,000 diamonds, and third place, 1,000 diamonds. You can make your submissions at smiteprime.com and check out the other artwork from your fellow artists as well.
Is available for you all to tune into. We're going to be reviewing the submissions on May 15th, and you'll see the results of exactly who's going to get some prize in there for your art submissions. So make sure you get those in. And additionally, just to mention as well, the May circuit for SMITE Prime is about to begin. And by about to begin, not this weekend, begins next weekend. So make sure you check in for that. Additionally, last but not least, before I get into everything, this will be available. The new Ratatoska Flurry Twitch drop will be available for you starting next weekend, all being well. If there's any issues, I'll let you know, but that will be available on Saturday. Yeah. But without further ado, I guess it's time for us to get on with
because the Twitch drops drop the weekend after the God release.
Austin, before we go into it, first of all, obviously I was out this week, so you're going to kind of have to catch me up a little bit on what's been going on. But I know the focus was really on making some adjustments to not necessarily time to kill, but survivability, I guess, in some regard. And the focus on trying to, calm the issues that players have been experiencing.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
All right, he possesses a lot of knowledge. We got to take notes and pay attention, class. Pay attention.
So we'll go straight into it then and have a little look at exactly what's going on. Start off with God Balance. First of all, the one thing I've got on here is the new war change that is already in game.
Shining Metal. Let me see. Baron? Don't get distracted, me. Don't get distracted.
Nope.
Damage reduced on her 3. Let me see. It was 140 to 200% strength. No, it is 140 to 200% strength and attack power plus 28 to 40% scaling intelligence. 2. Oh, it got reduced. Oh, the top end. Okay, so it was 140 to 200 scaling. It is now 40 to 120% strength and attack power. And the intelligence portion used to be 28 all the way up to 40. It is now 8 to 24. And then strength of metal damage reduced from 75% of attack damage to 25. Ooh, big nerfs to Nuwa. Or aspect Nuwa on her 3. After the rework on her aspect, she was still potent. So they brought that down. Big nerfs. Okay. See how she does now. Baron Samdi, his 2 base healing from 25 to 65. It is now 40 to 85. My man Baron getting some love. This seems to be his base form though, not aspect.
Nope.
So that means everybody's gonna be benefiting from it. Of course, he has to land the 2. It is a skill shot ability for the benefit to actually appear, right? Shock Torrent is 3. No, that is 1. Damage increased from 80 to 340. It is now 100 to 340. Is that his 1? I think that's his 1. 1, 2. His 3 is Rain Dance. Yeah, I think it's the 1. It's the 1 or the 2. Then Charon. Spectral Surge. Increased base damage from 80 to 200. It is now 90 to 250. Okay. Big spike on the late game. Just a little bit of a increase on the early game. Make him a lot more potent late game at max rank. Increased base trail, taking damage from 6 to 14. It is now 7 to 15. So 1 across the board per level. Just a little bit of love for our Lord Ainge's cousin, man, Charon.
Yep. We did nerf the aspect, Austin, but we didn't really nerf the aspect at first, I guess. Or we adjusted it, but it still wasn't good enough.
Yeah, for
at one point. So now we've kind of adjusted it once again. This is already in live for you all. The damage reduced from 140 to 200% strength and attack.
So far, she's the only one that's gotten nerfed. Everyone else is a buff.
Intelligence.
I wonder who got nerfed,
It's now going to go to 40 to 120%. And then 8 to 24% intelligence. And also strength of metal damage reduced from 75% of attack damage down to 25%.
Yeah, she's been a challenging one to get into the right spot, right? Because it's trying to make sure that we keep the identity of the aspect, which is kind of hard to do with how she functions. So she's definitely needed several rounds of adjustments.
Next on the list is a small buff for Baron Sammy. This is on his base. His base heal is going to go up on his consigned spirits from 25 to 65. It's now going to be 40 to 85. I think we've seen a lot of Baron aspect, but not as much Baron nor Baron standard.
Regular Baron has not been seeing a lot of play. He's also been not performing super well, so we wanted to give him a little love. He may end up needing more. There was one other thing that we kind of wanted to look at, but ran out of time to be able to get that in there. So suspect that he might need a little bit more, but we'll definitely
more Baron love.
Another
I'm
one
with
getting
it.
a buff here as well is Chak with the Torrent. The damage is going to go up. It was 80 to 340. Now going to be a buff in the early game by the looks of it. 100 now to 340 at the later stages. Chak been a bit underperforming, I guess.
Yep, he's another one that's been underperforming. He's also another one that if he needs more buffs, which he may, because this is a pretty small buff to be honest, is some targeted buffs that target both his base and his aspect separately.
Okay.
Because actually neither of them are doing particularly well right now. Those are things that we will probably be looking at for a future patch for sure.
Next on the list is Charon as well. The Spectral Surge is going to see a bit of a damage increase here. Was 80 to 200, now will be 90 to 250. So early game, a small adjustment there. Later on, a little bit more damage. And also the base trail ticking damage is going to go up on those as well. With 6 to 14, now 7 to 15.
Yep. So just another underperforming god that just needed some love. So I think probably will not need any additional changes. We're hoping that this is enough to kind of get him up to that, the level where he'll start seeing more play.
I will say the first page we've seen
I play these characters
so far, and that's kind of nice for a change. Because I guess the last couple of patches we've been doing a lot of nerfs.
We've been doing a lot of nerfs, so
I'm
we wanted to
enjoying
make sure
this.
we were getting some buffs to the underperformers for this one.
For sure. We'll mention, chat, there is a couple of nerfs. Don't worry, we're not just all buffs today, I promise you. Cupid, next on the list, is getting a bit of a look.
Okay, Heart Bomb explosion damage increased from 50 to 170, is now 60 to 180. Minion bonus damage increased from 55% to 60%. Okay, that's pretty good. Geb, hard as a rock. Pause. Critical strike damage. This is his passive. Critical strike damage reduction reduced from 65% to 50%. Okay, that's a nerf. Which makes sense because crit got reduced to be 50% now, or 150 instead of 165. So him having that extra 15% meant that crit was really, it's like, well, it was a double protection for him and a double whammy for crit users against him. So this is just bringing him back in line to match everything else across the board. Roll out his one now grants slow immunity while rolling. Good. Because it takes him so long to get and build that momentum, to get going and build that momentum up, that when a slow will make it even worse. But of course, the taunts, so knock back, knock up, push, pull, that'll all get him out of the rollout if he's not in his CC immune state. And then Stone Shield, the shield health scaling per level got reduced from 15 to 10. Big nerf. Shield now scales with 5% of max health. Is that from Geb's max health or the allies' max health? I would say the ally. They need to specify that. Hopefully they do. Because if you can just scale it off of your own max health, your ally can get a big shield. Even with these nerfs, this is still going to be more potent. Kind of matching a Sphinx bubble. At 5%. Ishtar! No! She got nerfed. Aspect of the Passionate Storm. Her basic attack length reduced by 25%. Her ultimate, Blade of Retribution, fixed an issue where blades could miss targets that weren't intended in the cone. Rolling Thunder increased base damage from 60 to 160 to now 75 to 175. And then something with 3. Probably reduced. Oh, she's getting nerfs and buffs. Okay. What is this basic attack length? Reduced. Was it just... Oh. I see. So making it more into like an actual shotgun.
As
see.
well,
I understand.
explosion on the heart bomb damage is going up. It was 50 to...
It was probably too long. Pause. The length of her projectile still within like a normal range when it should have been reduced because she has the shotgun form. I see. So it's been reduced by 25%. Gotcha.
170. Now will be 60 to 180, so 10 at all ranks. And minion damage bonus increased. It was 55% to 60%. He's kind of in the meta at the moment, but
yeah, he's struggled a little bit like with early clears. So this is just a kind of a small buff to help him in that area. We don't expect this to like dramatically increase his win rate or anything, but it's more just a feels thing to make him a little less painful to play in the early game.
It's funny because I put these in alphabetical order as always. Now I'm like, all the first ones we're doing a buff. Geb, next on the list as well. Geb
this is a big one.
Is getting a bit of changes here. Obviously, he's been underperformed for the most part, and a lot of people have felt this way. But first of all, his Hard as Rock passive did need to be adjusted and reduced, mainly due to the crit changes, if I'm being honest. So critical strike damage reduction reduced from 65% to 50% on him. However, his rollout is now going to be immune to slows while rolling out, so we can get that off a little bit quicker. And Stone Shield health scaling per level reduced from 15 to 10. However, that is now going to see the shield now scale with 5% of max health.
Yeah, and this is a big one. This is a pretty significant like level 1 buff, right?
Yeah.
Because you get this is not max health from items. This is just max health.
Yeah.
So you are...
From who? From you as Geb? Or whoever you're casting the shield on?
It is a pretty substantial buff in the early game, and it's also a buff in the late game. Like this will be a pretty big increase to the amount that you are shielding with him.
Yep.
I guess that's based off your max health then? That's what it sounded like, what they just said.
I will put out in chat, I was out this week with Geb, by the way, because everyone knows I'm a Geb main, and already people in chat going, oh, it's a big buff for Hindu, and I'm like, listen, I was nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
But erosion exists anyway, chat, okay?
Yeah,
erosion,
there is
so
erosion,
plenty of things
man.
to counter those shields. Next
and then there's a Axe Splitter as well, the active. 2 great items to throw away shields. That's gotta... I think chat is gonna ask, is that max health off of Geb or the other person, the ally? More than likely. Hopefully y'all ask that, chat, because they didn't specify that. All their discussion right there just indicated to me that it's based off Geb's own max health.
Is Ishtar. And Ishtar, Austin, she's kind of been, good release for the most part, struggled a little bit, gave us some buffs, adjusted some things, and now we're starting to see the aspect of performing a little bit better than expected.
Yeah, so...
Aspect is fire, man.
Didn't get a lot of time to talk with. Caps is actually out right now for a wedding, so I didn't get to talk with him because he was kind of the focus on this. But a lot of this is to try to tone down playing the aspect as a hunter, right?
Right. It's supposed to be more of a jungler.
More of a jungler. So some of this is to target that and just some minor tweaks just to
straight up just
try to get her in a better place all around.
Attack speed and basic attack down. Bam, 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 bam. That ish was fun. I'm glad I got to play her before this nerf.
But that was one of the main focuses of this, is to try to tone that down a little bit.
So we'll go through those now. So the aspects of Passionate Storm, the basic attack length has been reduced by 25%, which means that AoE cone will be a little bit shorter on those shots. Blade of Retribution, the ultimate, we fixed an issue where the blades could miss
Good morning, brother. Good morning, back.
Rolling Thunder, we increased the base damage, however, from 60 to 160 will now be 75 to 175. And apologies for the page break here, but Jolt is also going to see the speed of the dash by...
Okay. So she'll move faster on the dash. That's cool. So aspect only. Explode arrow base damage reduced from 24 to 72. It is now 20 to 60. So it did get nerfed. Explode arrow scaling taken, excuse me, from 144% strength and attack power plus 28%. Intelligence, it is now 120% attack power and strength and 24% intelligence. So arrow 8 stack bonus damage reduced from 10 to 50, 50% reduction. Damn. And then the scaling reduced from 60% strength and attack power plus 12% intelligence. It is now 30% strength and attack power and 6% strength intelligence. So the 3 really got hit hard with a 50% reduction on the stacking. And then was that a 24% reduction on the strength and attack power and a 4% on intelligence. And then 4 across the board. No, 4 early game and then 8 at the end. So her 3 was hitting hard, man. Yeah. They took that away. Nope, you're doing too much. May the 4th be with you, brother. Throwing up the Spock sign. Oh, heresy, some would say. May the 4th be with you and also with you, brother. And with your spirit as well. May the 4th be with you too, Twitch gang, YouTube gang, kickers as well.
33%.
Oh, hang on. I see Kefir's here. Kefri Rising Dawn, that says 2. Duration increased from 3 seconds to 4 seconds. Damage reduced from 10 to 26. It is now 8 to 24. No, he got nerfed, my man. Kefir's 2 and then 2 across the board. It was too much damage mitigation for the allies. Dang it, that sucks. It lasts longer though. 1 second. Okay, I see. Medusi Viper Shot. The initial hit of each projectile now also deals 2% of the target's max health as bonus physical damage. Acid Spray cooldown reduced from 15 to 13. It is now 14 to 12. Ooh, okay, get a 1 second reduction early level. Oh, 1. Oh, that's a 1 across the board. Yeah, 1 second. Ooh, okay, that's not bad. Some love. Medusi getting some love. Why didn't you just make the cut right here? Mercury special delivery and then nothing. Yeah. My OCD is appearing and you could have just done the page break right before you type Mercury. I'll continue.
Only explode arrow base damage reduced from 24 to 72 to 20 to 60. Explode arrow scaling taken from 144% strength and attack plus 28. Intelligence to 120 and strength at 24. Arrow 8 stack bonus damage has been reduced as well. It was 10 to 50, will now be 5 to 25. And arrow 8 stack bonus scaling reduced from 60% strength and attack will now adjust to 30% strength and attack and 6% intelligence. So a lot of nerfs there to Ishtar aspects specifically. Yep. It was overperforming, but it also feels like this will be a bit of compensation with some of it.
It was fun, man.
Next on the list, another buff. Look at all these buffs, chat. Capri. Capri definitely been struggling a little bit in the meta and how things stand in the support role at the moment. Nerf. So Rising Dawn has seen a buff here. We've increased the duration from 3 to 4 seconds of the Rising Dawn. However, we have adjusted the damage, considering it's going to go on a little bit longer. Yeah. Does make sense to reduce the damage a little bit. So damage reduced from 10 to 26 is now going to be 8 to 2.
Oh, I misunderstood. It's not the damage mitigation.
Nope.
Goofy. It's the damage done. Okay. Hey, yo, I'm cool with the damage mitigation not being touched. I'm fine with that. You want to reduce the damage? Hey, by all means, go ahead. Go ahead and reduce it. That's fine. I'll take the two damage reduction across the board. We use that ability anyways for damage mitigation on the allies. That's it, primarily, and then of course some DPS here and there.
24.
Yep, and this is a
That was
bigger
my
buff
fault,
than
I
I think
messed
a
up.
lot of people might realize at first glance. This is actually, like, Rising Dawn is actually a very powerful ability. It does a lot.
A lot of underrated stuff in that. The mitigations you get, the protections you get for your team, the shred that you get on this too.
Yeah. So it does a lot of things. So adding additional second is a pretty, that's a pretty big buff, bigger than you might think it is. So,
but definitely people will be able to test it out and see it in game. Our next buff that's also on the list here, Medusa. Viper Shot. This is the one that would make me go, oh my goodness, what are we doing? The initial hit of each projectile now also deals 2% of the target's max health as bonus physical damage. Big one there for that, and also acid spray cooldown reduced. It was 15 to 13, now will be 14 to 12. Question on the Viper Shot for you that you might know: is this also for objectives and things like that too on the map? There'll be percent health.
Yep. So this is anything that you hit. Yeah.
Okay. So really strong.
Yeah. So it is very strong. Like this
can be applied. He said towers, which means objectives too. Which means Fire Giant, Gold Fury, Pyro, Titan. But it's just the initial hit of each projectile. How long? The initial hit of each projectile. This is just a Viper Shot, though. That's 4 enhanced basics she gets. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8% if she lands all 4 arrows on the same target. Of a target's max health. Yo, she can take objectives quickly now. Or quicker. I'll correct myself. It's gonna be interesting. Medusa stocks are going up. If you're a really min-maxer and neckbeardy about all these number stuff, you're gonna know how to use her.
Because she kind of had a problem where, like, if you wanted to clear effectively, you need to kind of prioritize acid spray, which means you're kind of neglecting the Viper Shot a little bit. So now, like, you kind of have a choice. You can kind of, if you want to, you can have a little bit worse clear and focus entirely on Viper Shot and really be trying to shred and box people, or be an objective killer. Or if you want to have a safer laning phase, you can focus a bit more on acid spray for better clear now that you have reduced cooldown on it. This is definitely one that we will be keeping an eye on.
Sure.
This is, and just to be clear, this is the percent damage is one time on each of the hits.
So each auto that connects.
Yeah. So it's not you're not doing it with each dot tick.
Yeah, it's not the dot ticks. It's just the initial application.
Yeah, and it does get reduced by protections. It's not like true damage or anything like that. So, but it's very strong. So we will be keeping an eye on this. But she was definitely one of the underperforming hunters in a lot of regards. So.
I think that was the.
If you're not mechanically challenged and can land the majority, if not all of your basic attacks, like you're a perfect player, you're probably gonna switch up to the 1 now versus the 2. We'll maybe still get the 2 first for wave clear, then get the 3-year escape, and then the 1, and then you'll probably prioritize at rank 4. You'll probably prioritize the Viper Shot over the clear. Actually, no. It would still be early game, so you do 2 again. Then you ult. Probably at level 6. That's when you shift to prioritizing the Viper Shot. Because you'll be rank 5 already. Unless you want to be super aggressive early on and do 1 and focus clearing but you're gonna be in duo. That's two dudes you're competing against. So no, probably at level 6, that's when you reshift your priority to maxing out the 1 over the 2. because you'll be able, once the support leaves, you'll be able to box, and it'll be a 1-on-1. So if you're able to land your basics consistently and frequently, then yeah, at like level 6, 7. Didn't mean to do that.
Nope.
That's when you make the transition. That's just my guess right here.
Hard thing is trying to find certain candidates to buff because there is weaker gods, but sometimes the community does feel like they're very potent already, and it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Next god on the list is going to be a nerf. It's Mercury's Special Delivery. It can
no longer be manual canceled early.
No longer be manually cancelled early. I know this is something that some players were really enjoying as a Mercury player, but kind of frustrating in some circumstances to deal with.
Yeah, like it was very strong. It created the situation where like you kind of would bait out beads. Like it was one of those things that just could be abused in a lot of different ways. So, and he was also a guy that was performing very well at the time. So we're hoping this change kind of.
I'm not a Merc main, man.
A little bit, targets both of those things.
Me and him will never
next
get
up
along.
Is Mordred just a...
Okay. So I don't really know what this one's about. Is it the... Did people, as soon as they heard him whoosh, do the clap audio effect, did they just beads immediately? Or what? Because you press 4, and then you can cancel it. I know that. Is it that part? Cancel it. Is that it? So once you ult, you have to follow through. That's my understanding now. Okay. Mordred, Cruel Strikes, fix an issue where the healing from gods was less than the stated description. Wow. Now he's going to heal even more. Okay, that's good. Pele Aspect. All right, let's see. Got a lot of changes here. Magma Rush base healing reduced from 4 to 16. It is now 3 to 11. Magma Rush base enhanced healing reduced from 8 to 32. It is now 6 to 22. Magma Rush heal health scaling reduced from 1.15% of health from items to 1% flat. Magma Rush heal health scaling reduced from 2.25 of health from items to 2% flat. Pyroclast return base damage reduced from 25 to 20. And Pyroclast return damage scaling reduced from 15% to 10%. So she was healing a lot and was still doing damage. So she was unkillable and a damage dealer. Double whammy for the Pele enemy. So now they're hitting both. She gets reduced healing and she's doing less damage. Okay, I see, I understand. Poseidon, release the Kraken! Outer ring damage scaling increased from 40% to 50%, and the inner ring that has a knockup increased from 100% to 110%. So 10% on both. A little bit of love for Poseidon, the fish man, manfish. And then Ratatasker, oh, they did show us this on the Wednesday one, I think. Yeah. The great changes to Ratatasker's base kit, making him even better, much more potent than his aspect. We'll see, though. We'll see. On paper, it's looking very potent.
Want to really mention, fix an issue where the healing from gods was less than the stated description. I think just people weren't aware it was actually doing a little bit more.
Yeah, so it's...
Oh, he was healing.
We were actually intending to look at Mordred for buffs, but that's one thing that we caught when we were looking at it, is like, oh, this is actually...
Is he seen as like weaker, I guess, in the data we're getting in?
Yeah, in the data, he's definitely...
struggling.
He's struggling a bit. Okay. So this is a relatively small buff, but it's really just a bug fix,
just a bug fix more than anything else.
Fixing the matching up.
Next on the list is one that the community has definitely been raving about because Pele Aspect. We've done some adjustments to it a couple of times now. Here we go again. Magma Rush base healing reduced from 4 to 16. Will now be 6 to 11. Magma Rush base enhanced healing reduced from 8 to 32. Will now be 6 to 22. And Magma Rush health scaling reduced. It was 1.15. Is now going to be 1%. and the health scaling reduced from 2.25% of health from items to 2%. Pyroclast return base damage reduced from 25 to 20, and Pyroclast return damage scaling reduced from 15 to 10. Hopefully, this should bring her a little bit more in line.
And this also, like, we also fixed a bug where you were double hitting on the AO3. So these things in combination, we're hoping this is going to be enough. The problem with the Pele aspect is you know, she was definitely overtuned.
Sure.
So we've been trying to bring her down, but she does kind of have a fundamental problem with how she works. That if this ends up not being enough, we probably will look at a small like rework to actually how the aspect functions.
And I guess that's what the question is because like she's very much a burst assassin style, and now we're trying to make her sustaining, but she's too sustaining.
Yeah.
But she's not doing damage. You know.
The problem that she has, and it's a more difficult change than it might seem, which is why we haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but we will if we need to. Is the way that your fuel works in the aspect is as you're taking damage, you're gaining fuel, right? And it's any source of damage, and it's always a set amount. And because there's no like timer on how often you can get the fuel from taking damage, if you're in combat, you're kind of just maxing out on fuel unless you're just like slowly getting hit by one person. Yeah. Like it's very easy to just keep your fuel like constantly being replenished.
Sure.
So you're able to stay in this state for a lot longer than you can in base Pele. So that's one thing that we might look at changing if this isn't enough, but we're hoping that all these things combined will
bring her more
be enough to where it's like she can remain this kind of like sustain. I want to stay in the fight for a long time, whatever, but not be such of like a terror while doing it.
Next up is Poseidon. Release the Kraken. Buff for Poseidon coming out here. The outer ring scaling damage has been increased. It was 40%. Now will be 50%. The inner ring damage scaling increased from 100% to 110%. Yep. Poseidon kind of struggling. Kraken no longer struggling, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the idea behind this one is like he's definitely one of the mages that is struggling the most right now. The Kraken is notoriously easy to avoid ultimate.
All relics as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of counters to it. So like, if you're getting hit, particularly by the inner ring, you should be getting hit, right?
You should be really getting hit. Yeah.
So this is, trying to make that pay off a bit better when you're able to actually pull it off.
Next on the list is Ratatoska. We did kind of go over some of these, but we're getting some substantial changes here, some buffs that were long awaited from the community. Brisbane Acorn no longer has reduced range. Ashwell Acorn now gives a 20% bonus to movement speed when AO2 is fired. Thistlethorn Acorn now will stun targets hit by 3 acorns properly, and the dot 1. The strength scaling increased on this from 70 to 80%. So going to be a lot more dashing.
Ymir Shards of Ice ult now deals its damage if Ymir dies during the ultimate cast. Frostbite is passive. Damage reduction to Ymir from frostbitten targets increased from 15% to 20%. Ooh, some love for the Frost Giant. Well, he's the last one in terms of gods. Okay. So even if you die, you'll still deal out the initial 50% damage at the halfway mark, and then the full amount if you made it that far. So you'll still at least be doing 50% damage from your ult, even if you die. That's good. I like that.
Around in these engagements has a little bit more mobility, a little bit more range with this too. So we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, he's definitely a lot stronger now. I'll say that for sure, based on our internal testing. But yeah.
And the last but not least is Ymir getting some love here. First of all, Shards of Ice now deals damage if Ymir dies during his ultimate cast. So it's like his final act of death can at least do some damage back, hopefully. And then last but not the other one on here is Frostbite passive. Damage reduction to Ymir from frostbitten targets increased from 15 to 20%. So actually 2 minor buffs, but pretty substantial when you think about how these are going to play out.
I mean, I think the Frostbite passive is, it's pretty substantial. Like you're getting, 5% additional DR. Like that's pretty good.
Definitely helpful.
And the Shards of Ice, that is something we've been trying to fix forever. We think we have finally fixed it. So if you guys are seeing that is still not happening or whatever, let us know. But we think we have actually fixed it for real this time. Fingers crossed.
Well, we can move on to item balance now. And obviously, you can already see a couple of the notes here. But Bumba's Golden Dagger and
could have made the cut right here. right here. I'm just saying. Maybe it's me being too picky. I don't think so, though.
Nope.
Could have just made the break right here, and that probably would have put Golden Blade together with the actual notes for it. It's me being a grammar NIZI.
Spear, both of these have been adjusted. The bonus damage no longer affects the primary target. Can you just explain that for the viewers what that exactly means? It really just means like not the prime target, the other targets around it will still get
so
hit.
like the cleaving bonus damage, like the target that you hit. So if you're attacking with like a regular basic attack and you have this, that target that you hit will not get have the bonus damage applied to them. It's just everything else is getting hit in the extra area.
Okay, that makes sense. And the reason for that is just to kind of reduce the amount of extra damage and clear that these are getting?
Yep, and it's more similar to like, how things like this item have worked in the past as well. So it's just kind of more of a parity change and also just to dial it back a little bit more.
Next up, Golden Blade. The base damage reduced on this from 20 to 10, and also the protection scaling increased from 15 to 20%. So it seems a bit more of a shift in this one of like reducing some of the actual damage, but giving it a bit more survivability.
Yeah, this item was kind of silly because it just gave you a lot, and it wasn't playing around the passive in a lot of cases, right? Like you can buy this item super early and you're getting a ton of value out of it without any protections at all.
Yeah.
So now it's, it's a little bit of a shift. You're still getting some early damage. So like, it's not a case where like you're getting nothing. And if you don't have any protections already, you literally do nothing.
Yeah.
Like you still get some upfront damage, but more of it is shifted into the scaling. So you want to be building more protections to get the maximum value out of it.
All right, here come the nerfs, man. Tenacity, RIP. RIP Tenacity, man. Dang, Tenacity was too potent. Now it's about to get capped at the knees. Where, I think this was the purple one, right? Yeah. Yo, there goes Ring the Bell. Ring the bell for Tenacity.
Now, next one, as you can see on the screen there, a couple of changes to some of the Tenacity items. And the reason for this is we made some changes to Tenacity to include things like knockups and vortexes.
Spectral fixed an issue where having multiple on the same team could allow the aura to stack on the owner. Oh my god. So both spectral owners could buff each other. Have it stack. So instead of 50% or 60%, it'd be 120. Holy, for two people. Oh my gosh, that's nasty. Shee. That's just the owner though. For them. That's potent, man. So you just get the solo laner and the front line, the support, to build Spectral. They would both be nearly unkillable. Nearly. Then Void Shield strength got removed. Physical protection increased from 30 to 55. Okay. That makes sense. It was a anti-physical protection item. So I don't know why they even added the strength to begin with. Oh well.
But also, Tenacity wasn't working as intended this update, as we mentioned, in terms of slows and things like that. So Tenacity is going to be a little bit more potent consistently in these games that you're coming across. But we're aware of how potent they could be. So Tenacity as a whole is kind of coming down a little bit in terms of the stats you can get for this.
Yeah, basically every item that gives you Tenacity as well as Yellow Buff, it's it's been reduced across the board because you're just getting more per point of Tenacity than you were before.
So quick recap of those. Mantle of Discord, Tenacity reduced from 20 to 15. Resolute Mantle is going from 20 to 10. And Buff Tenacity reduced from 10 to 5. Take into account, Resolute Mantle does stack as well as you get it, so you keep getting more Tenacity the more you get hit. And Shroud of Vengeance Tenacity from 20 to 15. Spirit Robe Tenacity from 20 to 15. And that's all the Tenacity stuff, I believe, as we move on to Spectral Armor. Now, obviously, I think this is a fix more than anything, but also we fixed an issue where having multiple on the same team could allow the aura to stack on the owner. So if I owned it and Austin owned it, we'd both be giving each other the aura, so we'd be getting even more effect from that.
Yeah.
And this is actually like, so this is, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you when we were talking about this before, but the intention is now like you actually don't get the aura yourself at all anymore.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So because we were going to nerf the the reduction to match.
I no longer get the aura. Let him finish that statement.
Match, the global crit multiplier change, right? Reduction itself at all anymore.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So because we were going to nerf the the reduction to match the global crit multiplier change, right? So now it's really just you're getting the same amount of crit reduction that you were getting before on yourself. You no longer get the aura. You give the aura to other people, and you also, if you own the item, are not getting the auras from someone else who has
makes
the item.
sense. I'll update that note for the viewers as well, just to make sure that makes sense.
So this is definitely one that we're going to keep an eye on to see how it's performing, because this is a pretty big shift, but it should be, like, the intention is it's still a very substantial item if you're trying to counter crit, but it's removing some abuse cases and trying to compensate for the crit changes.
Definitely. And just make sure that if somebody builds crit, it can't be just be counted by literally one item, hopefully. It's kind of the goal. Next on the list is two items that are back-to-back here, Void Shield and Void Stone. Both, interestingly enough, have had some adjustments to give them more protections.
I don't know about that, man.
And also remove a little bit of the power from them in a sense, because the amount of adjustments they get for protections.
Yeah, so this is actually a shift to be, so they are more like they were in Smite 1 now.
Right.
So this is a pretty big change to how these items are positioned. They no longer give you strength or intelligence anymore at all.
Yeah,
they are purely protection items that are there with you still have the protection reduction with the the passive effect, but these are very substantial protection items. So like if you're like, I really want some
the strongest ones in the
some
game in terms
physical
of
protection, like this is maybe an item that you want to consider buying now.
And they do both have those aura effects of being near targets, will reduce the amount of protections they're having as well. So real quick, Void Shield, strength removed, physical protection increased from 30 to 55, and Void Stone, intelligence removed, magical protection increased from 35 to 60. Both of these have also been adjusted to make sure their build path feels a bit better as well. So now builds out of Metal of Defense and Legionnaire armor for the Void Shield, and Void Stone now builds from Metal of Disruption and Circle of Protection.
Yep.
And that is all we have on the items.
And one other note I want to make on this as well is we also, when we were kind of looking at these, like for a future patch, one thing that we want to do is there are a couple of other mainly protection items, but also some other items in other categories as well that we want to potentially bring over from Smite 1 that you might be familiar with.
You mentioned new item.
Ooh, hello. He kind of reminds me of Sully's voice actor. I forget the brother's name. I'm gonna have to look him up. Sully from Monsters Inc. What's his name, man? Sully James P. Sullivan. Played by John Goodman. That's the guy. I think, let me see. John Goodman. Yes. With the beard. He reminds me of him. It's this guy. It was that one movie, that thriller movie he was in. Cloverfield? Was it that one? 10 Cloverfield Lane? Was it that one? He came out on this thriller movie where he did an excellent job. And he ended up being like the big bad guy. I think it was this. Yes. Yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Psychological.
All right, you guys, you're about to watch 180 seconds of ads.
Emmett President
Don't
Houseplant.
forget you can use your Prime
You
sub to
messed
skip
me
through
up.
them.
2016 psychological sci-fi thriller about a woman, Michelle, who wakes up in an underground bunker after a car crash held captive by a man named Howard. Yeah, who claims he saved her from a catastrophic chemical attack in outside world. Yes. and then he ends up being he's a killer, and all the victims that he killed. So should I even say it? I don't want to spoil it, man.
Nope.
You know what? I don't want to spoil it. It's Cloverfield Lane. That's the name. I'll let y'all look into that movie. It was a really, really great movie. He did an excellent job. For this guy right here. Bam, right there. He has a beard in the movie. Austin's reminding me of him from that movie. Just a bit. I encourage you all to watch that movie as well. I won't spoil it.
Nope.
I was about to. No. I was like, no. I caught myself. So if you haven't watched that movie, I recommend it. Really, really great sci-fi movie, thriller movie.
Is that what you said? Or new passives or
new items entirely?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So okay. They'll be new to Smite 2, but they will be items that are from Smite 1 that people will recognize.
Gotcha.
E-staff, perhaps. Flame forged hammer, perhaps. Frostbound hammer, perhaps. Bulwark of hope, perhaps. Warlock staff, perhaps. That'd be great.
We don't have a timeline on that or anything just yet, though. Right?
I think we might try to get a couple of them for next patch. I don't want to make any promises.
That's why I was trying to protect you by saying, hey, we don't know a timeline, right? And you're like, yeah, maybe next patch.
Yeah, throw it out there, whatever. Again, no promises. We're going to try to see what we can get in, but
it's on the radar, basically.
That is on the radar.
Okay,
there are a couple of items that we know that people really missed from Smite 1 that we want to try to get in. And again,
awesome.
Just because it's your favorite item doesn't mean that's one I'm talking about. We're not bringing every item over from Smite 1, but
that's cool.
There are a couple that
that's cool.
we're specifically targeting that we want to try to bring over.
E-staff, especially E-staff makes so much sense because all the base changes they made to mana and mana regen, E-staff needs to come back. It will make so much perfect sense for E-staff to join the item world of Smite 2. I'm just throwing it out there. E-staff is pretty fun. It's pretty great. Really, really enjoy it. I know you can get health from it. Although I mainly focused and used it because of mana, especially on support or mana consumer characters. E-staff, fantastic item.
Now, obviously, chat, these are all available on Smite Prime as well. If you want to head over to there, you can recap these notes. The full list of balance overview update will be available on Monday/Tuesday on the release, and that will include the jungle changes as well. We did make some adjustments in the jungle and on the Conquest map in terms of mid-game experience gain in the game and some jungle starter camps of when they actually spawn on the first rotations. So we'll see some more adjustments there as well, just as a heads up. But that's it for the update in terms of like what the overview is going to be. So now we can kind of take some questions from chat here, and this is where they grill you about everything in your life, Austin, and find out what's going on.
Let's get to know him, chat.
For Austin or in general about the patch, let us know, and we'll try and answer them here.
Oh, it's like we're already in break. Oh shoot. Okay, sorry, Twitch gang. I didn't even warn you about the 2-minute warning.
Let's see what we had already. I'm just going to scroll back up real quick.
Seeing Rat's Brisberry Acorn Tooltip says the dash reset lasts 10 seconds. However, it only lasts 5 seconds, which is intended. I'm actually not sure. I will look and make sure that it is updated to represent what it is correctly supposed to be, though.
Okay, good. Right, make a note out of that.
Hand of the Gods 2 already.
I'm not sure that one will be coming back. That was that game was an interesting kind of project for us because that was actually our first Unreal Engine 4 game.
Okay.
So like that was the first, like that's how old
I'm on UE5 now.
We're on UE5 now, but that was actually the first high-res Unreal Engine 4 game. So there was a lot of like hurdles getting over, like trying to make that game because there was a lot of news, right? Like 3 to 4 was a pretty big jump compared to 4 to 5 is not as big of a jump as 3 to 4 was.
Sure.
They're very different. So.
So you're someone that worked on like 3, 4, and now 5, obviously, as time's gone on. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a lot of experience.
Hindu in the God Select screen.
much
Aladdin is
wisdom
picked. It shows he's
you can obtain
physical.
from this
Character in
man.
the pre-draft lobby. The game is correct though. I'll make a note and try and tell the team to get an update on that.
Who is my favorite god? Oh,
Dangerous.
That's gonna be hard.
I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is. I'm like, this is always a dangerous. Because
Yeah.
they'll love you or hate you based off this one. This is.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I'll give you three.
Okay, that's
I'll
good,
give
that's
you
a good
three that I've always liked a lot, and for different reasons.
This could get even worse by giving them 3.
And one's going to sound really bad based off of what we just discussed with Patch Notes. So I promise you it has nothing to do with it. But Geb is one of them.
Okay.
Hey, Gebster. Hey.
Geb
I like
1
the
is
show.
one of my favorite skins of all time.
Yep.
It definitely was. Definitely get one.
Yep. What? His woohoo is incredibly fun. Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. You just spam that itch and have a blast. You as the Geb will enjoy it, and other Geb lovers will also enjoy it. Everybody else on the team, though,
Nope.
they're gonna be like, "Hey, yo, shut your mouth up, spamming wee-oo, wee." It will get irritating really, really quickly. So I see both sides. I still love it though. Best Geb skin I've ever seen.
Really like Sun Wukong,
Ooh,
and
Monkey Man. Okay.
Chok is another that I like quite a lot. But
Go-tos. You like big beefy men.
I like beefy men. Yep.
Makes sense.
That sounds weird when you
Pause.
say it like that. But
Pause. Hey, yo, you gotta say pause. I think I have a sound effect for that one. Hey, yo, what the? No, I don't. I just have this one.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on, Hindu man. You gotta say pause, man. Chat, let them know. Update them on their lingo terminology. Tell them you have to say pause.
Yeah, but it is like you just like the big frontlining men. That makes sense.
But I traditionally played a lot of solo and support.
Hey, let's go.
But you know,
right
I've
here.
played all of them. But
Everybody
that's
is.
what I've probably played the most over the years.
How is the falling animation bug? I am aware there is a couple of bugs with the falling animations. I know we've done a lot of corrections for them and we continue to work on those. There's just one or two that are still existing. If you do have a specific fallen animation bug, though, please reach out to us, smite2.com/bugs. Send in the bug report and we will take a look. I know we've been continuing to make progress on those.
Yeah, and we did find something actually in a playtest earlier this week that kind of gave
Hydrate
us
up,
some hints around
hydrate up.
maybe some issues that were happening
Awesome.
around there. So but yeah, any information that anyone has on any of that, you know, the more the better.
Yep.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence, Austin. What is the most shocking change to Smite since Smite 1 beta? What's the most shocking?
The most shocking.
The most shocking change.
Oh, that's a
active?
tough one.
Active items?
I don't know,
maybe?
like, what do you mean by shocking? Like, I
guess it's
was
your-
not expecting this to be a thing that we would do, or
Yeah.
Maybe. Or shocking that like changed the game for you. I don't know.
yeah. I would say
Shocking's kind of out there, but yeah.
yeah, like for me probably it was because these changes were made before I came back to work on Smite.
Right.
Was strength and intelligence for Smite 2.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big change from how.
Yes. Actually, that's a great point. Great point, Austin. Holy moly. That is like rocked my world. I said, what? Strength and intelligence? What the is this? Am I doing magical damage or am I doing physical damage? Like which one's for what? And even still, I'm still a little confused to this day, honestly. I'm gonna keep it real. When I first saw that, I was like, what the are they talking about? They said, oh, we're getting away from magical damage and physical damage. Huh? Well, what do you mean we're getting more away from that? Like, now I have to relearn this whole new thing when I just got accustomed to do with this. I learned this. I got used to it. I was like, okay, I'm good. I got it. I like it. I understand it. Now here's this new thing that's not that. It's like, okay, now how is this gonna work though? It's differently, but it'll empower the type of damage that you do. Is like, or maybe it was their explanation that was just not enough for me to grasp and understand it. It wasn't as thorough or clear. Maybe that's what made it so so shocking and confusing. It's like, what the are you saying, dog? Huh? Yeah, I don't get you, man.
Nope.
I don't get you. But hey, okay, I'll start using this stuff now. Like some of these items, they look very similar. They do similar things to the ones in Smite 2. They just have now strength and instead of like power or whatnot. So it's like I can kind of meander my way through and figure it out myself until I understand it and grasp it fully. That's how it was for me. It's probably something similar to him, so we'll let him give his explanation.
How things worked in Smite 1. So actually having like hybrid scaling potential and things like that now is like I was like, oh, that's neat. I didn't realize we were gonna do something like that for Smite 2. So
it definitely blew my mind at first as well. I'm like, wait, we're gonna do hybrid scalers?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that.
Yeah, because that's a brand new concept for me. Maybe not for them. They seem like they've encountered this type of environment before, like with the hybrid scalers, with like strength or intelligence, something like that on some other game, maybe. For me, it was a brand new concept that just came out of left field from out of nowhere, like Randy Orton with his RKO. That's how it was for me, and I was just stunned there.
Tougher to balance as well.
Yeah, so. That is, that's one of those things. It's like it's really cool because it lets you do some cooler, more interesting things. But it
opens up the item pool.
He's echoing a little bit.
It is a balance challenge. So it's kind of both of those.
Welcome to the challenge, my friend. Can you spell more gods now that Kilghoul isn't here? No. I can't. Austin could do whatever he wanted and get away with it. I will not.
The next 10 gods. No.
I'm like, we're here. They'll have you on the show every week. Then they'll be like, what's the next 10? What's the next 10?
Yeah.
Austin, do you like Magic the Gathering? If so, what color is the deck? I do. I'm a Magic the Gathering fiend. Yeah.
What's your favorite?
I like Grixis a lot. That's probably my favorite color pairings. But I play everything.
Went over my head. I don't know this.
Green stuff a lot. It's anything that gives you lots of value. I'm a big value guy.
Big value. Get more land per turn. Get more
value. Draw lots of cards. Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
Some of these. What are you eating for dinner tonight, man? I don't know. Haven't gotten that far.
What else you got, chat?
How many of these non-Smite related questions do we want to answer?
You can answer as many as you want. Okay, I'll turn it back on if I find a good question for you to potentially answer as well. Because this is the thing of having you on for one of the first times in a long time, and with the audience, they're going to get a lot of random questions to begin with. They're trying to fill you out. You see, they're trying to work out your weaknesses or what your expectations are. Oh, he's a tank beefy player. He's not going to care about the junglers. He's going to want to make sure he's super survive. That spot's going to go on.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for tangents, so I'm probably worse than Kilgoon on that. So I'll try to not answer too many of those.
Hey, okay. So, dude, there's already a lot of DPS lovers. What the fuck you mean, man? How many frontline lovers are there within high res or Titan Forge? I don't even know, man.
Nope.
Maybe one, Kilgoon, but he's not even a dev.
Nope.
He's not. Within the devs, I think they're just DPS people in there. Like all the frontliners, they all got the axe. They got the Italy treatment. They got the boot. So having one extra there, or at least one, maybe the first one, that's excellent news. And all these DPS propagandas like, oh, it's over. Brother, what do you mean? You've had your run since the start of the game. And now that one little change is coming. Oh, no. Get out of here, man.
Support players loved having a dedicated jungle. Did we? Dedicated jungle buff in Smite 1. But Pon and Clumsy weren't able to come up with a good effect in Smite 2. Austin, do you have any thoughts on a support jungle buff? Main thing is...
Are we talking about green buff?
Yeah, green
they're
buff.
talking about green buff. Some of the players want to have some green buff back or some sort of buff that support can
I
pick
think
up.
people might be misremembering what green buff did to the game back in the day. I remember.
I think it depends on when you started the game too and when you played it, because there was the early days of the green buff. Even side jungles, and then the 2-1-2 mez. Yeah. I was kind of discussing that the other day too.
It's tricky. Doing a targeted buff for support is tricky, right? Because anything that a support's going to want, there's going to be another role that would also probably want that, right?
Yeah, benefit. Y'all motherfuckers, man. You all play a hate on support, and yet when something good comes for us, if you're able to use it, you'll accept it with arms wide open. If it doesn't,
Nope.
you're like, I don't want it. Get the fuck out of here. Support you trash. Oh, y'all some hypocritical motherfuckers, man.
Yeah.
So being able to create something where it's like your team collectively is like, support's best person for this. Let's help them out.
Yeah,
like,
how often does that happen?
that's just something that's really hard to find.
They just pointed it out. It's never gonna happen, man.
Nope.
They'll want the shine for themselves. They'll want the shine for themselves, man. It's like, this is clearly meant for this. Like, every other role can get away with this except for support. Why? Because support's the best role, the most impactful role in the motherfucking game, man. Y'all keep chaining supports down. Chaining them. Keeping them down. No! You will never grow. You will never flourish.
Nope.
You will never pop off. Because we will make sure you don't. Oh, y'all some player hating ass.
Find
the
a
only
good
thing-
space for.
the
Not
o-
saying it's impossible.
No,
but-
there's only one thing in the game that is wards. That's it. That's
Yeah.
the only thing in the game. That or like losing more experience for more gold or something like that. Yeah.
Which everyone should be warding, not just support. Everybody needs to be warding. Holy moly. If you think that's the only thing supports have to do and excuse yourself, nah, man, you ain't ish, dog.
Nope.
You ain't ish, because every single player should be warding. Everyone. It is not a support must do this kind of action.
Nope.
Everybody must be doing it.
Makes a lot of sense. But green buff overall, I mean, with Smite 2, I think the team has mentioned this multiple times, but because you can pick up multiple buffs and stuff too, you're going to see this gravitate to other
just
players rather than yourself.
Yep.
So, like, we could do something where it's like, you have to have the support role to pick up this
Lock
buff,
it
but
in.
That
Yes.
just
Get
doesn't
really...
things like
bad.
that just don't feel good, right?
That's
like
fair.
it feels gamey, right? It doesn't feel like something that, it feels like a band-aid, right? So if we were to do something that is a targeted support jungle buff, it would not be something like that, more than likely.
I see. Too many player haters would riot.
How has your return to Smite felt? Any challenges or struggles? It's been awesome. Like tons of challenges and struggles, right? Like
I mean, you've been on and off the team over the years as well, I guess. So it's not like you've been away forever, but it's always kind of an adjustment to come back and go, okay, what's changed? I
yeah,
guess.
like it's I think
Readjust,
that like this has been
re-update.
talked about in the past before, but like in Smite 2, us as designers are able to be more hands-on than we were for Smite 3, right? Which is a blessing and a curse.
Smite 3? What do you mean Smite 3, Austin? Huh? Was that a Freudian slip there? Did you mean Smite 1? They're both odd numbers. So maybe that's why you got them mixed up. Or is there already? Oh, Smite 3 is coming. Oh, Smite 2 is dead. That's gonna be those people. They're gonna take this statement right here and just run into the weeds with it.
Right? It lets us be able to get things done more by ourselves without having to rely on
Additional
programming.
teams.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, right? Like
He probably combined Smite 1 and Unreal Engine 3. That's what Smite 1 is on. So he said Smite 3 on accident. He had those two thoughts in his mind, and then his brain combined them so he could verbalize that. It's probably that's what he meant though. I get you, Austin.
There's a lot of challenges there. That stuff is not easy. It takes a lot of you have to be very careful and intentional with everything that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Atlas has been a prime example of this, right? He's been a very challenging god to work on.
Yeah, and you lead on Atlas and bringing them over as well. So he's going to be the first take the community gets. Just to be clear, that's why I said Ganesh first of all before, because Ganesh came out great.
Yeah,
and now Atlas.
I mean, he scares me, right? Because he's a very challenging god. He has a lot. Like he's probably, I think he's the most complicated god that I've worked on.
Really?
Just in terms of everything that he needs behind the scenes to function properly, right? Which means there's a lot of risk of things that could go wrong. So,
and are you prime on that aspect as well? Because that aspect is crazy.
Yeah.
So you decided to you get on the team, you get Atlas as the first one that you focused on, and you're like, man, this guy's kind of complex. And you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do bowling with Atlas and kicking the ball around.
Well, there's already it's not entirely me. Like
Sure.
A lot of those ideas are like
Team effort
come together or whatever. But yeah, it's another risk. Like, but we thought that we'd rather take a shot at something that's unique and interesting, right? And we knew that like this god's not going to be for everybody. Like even internally, people that have tested him, or whatever. Sure. It's like I can't play this.
Yeah.
This is too much or whatever. And we're expecting that. Like there are a lot of people that will just not like how this kit
He's
flows.
going to have a weird muscle memory sort of issue with him
because it doesn't play like any other god in the game, right? But we're okay with
Unorthodox.
that. And we expect that we might have to make some changes for balance. Because like this could end up being one of those gods that, in the right hands, is extremely potent. And the average player is really struggles, and we're okay with that. But like that means that we kind of have to balance it around that upper tier, right?
For sure.
So
because the normal players aren't even going to play him to begin with.
Nope.
So that isolated occasion, it's best to balance for the higher skill players.
And we'll make adjustments where they're needed. But yeah.
I had this question come up a couple of times. Any ideas for allowing supports to upgrade starter items earlier than level 20, even if it's like 18 rather than 15? I do get the argument on that. I think it's something that the team to look at, though, because I guess because everybody can buy these starters now.
Yeah, with the way they work now, like that's tricky, right? Because are you just allowing these two items, which not just supports can buy, anybody can buy these items, whatever, to work differently than the other ones, just arbitrarily? Like, we get that, like, that feels bad as a support. Like your ability to upgrade them is delayed compared to a lot of other players in the game. But at the same time, it's like you're not the only ones that can buy those items. So I think I would rather buff those items just straight up. So that they're more desirable and you don't care as much about the delayed upgrade. Than trying to make an arbitrary change so they function slightly differently from every other one in the category.
The threads are starting now. Support items getting buffed. Support stars getting buffed. That team will definitely take a look though and try and work out some ways to make them a little bit more valuable. Because to be clear, as the game goes on, those are really strong when they do hit level 20. I know it takes a while to get them, but getting those support items to upgraded is really, really powerful.
Which I got, Chad? Which I got?
Is UE5 more complicated than UE3 or the opposite?
I wouldn't say more complicated. They're just different, right?
More advanced, I guess, or changed.
Yeah, it's just so in Unreal Engine 3, you didn't have Blueprint, right? Which is the main part of what Unreal Engine 4, like the evolution into Unreal Engine 4 carried on to Unreal Engine 5 has. That's the thing that allows designers to be more hands-on, right? Because it's pseudocode. You're not actually writing any code, but it's functionally the same thing in most regards, right? So that's the big difference, but it's not it's not more complex. It's just different.
Right. It's been over a year since Izanami got any balance related changes. She feels weak in my opinion. Do you guys have anything planned for her? I think she was someone that was being looked at, I guess, but just in the moment not sure where.
Yeah, so she's a tricky one, right? Because she's not actually performing poorly.
Sure.
She's actually doing fairly well. If we were to touch her, it would probably be less buff, more feels, like more quality of life type things, which could be like pseudo buffs, but like I don't think we're looking at directly buffing her
Right.
based on where she stands right now. But that's not to say we wouldn't potentially consider some changes to her just for feels and quality of life.
Make the 3 more deploy quickly. 3 activation time. Perhaps.
What's your favorite funny non-god breaking bug you've encountered?
Non-god breaking? I guess it depends on what you consider god breaking, but
Everything's
my favorite bug of all time, and it kills me because we used to have a video of it. I don't know what happened to it. Was I can't remember what god it was either now, but there was a god that at one point was just like accidentally riding the wrong rig. So you would see it, and when it was animating, like it looked like the god, but like it was skewed. It was like doing this weird like skeletal guy walk,
a different walk,
and it was really funny because it just didn't fit with the god that it was happening on at all. Right, it looked really silly.
We'll have to check
that's
if there's a
probably my
clip of
favorite. We used to have a video, and it's like we actually tried finding it the other day.
Was it the
couldn't find
Susanna rat one? It wasn't that, was it? That was a bit more recent. That so I don't
think
know.
so.
I know there's been some weird rat-looking things with Susanna at one point.
Yeah.
Chibi Susanna?
But yeah, that's an issue that's come up a couple times. But that one in particular that I can't remember off the top of my head was really funny.
I have a bug where I can't vote during surrender votes. Is that a known bug? I'm not aware of that one. I don't think I've seen
not
that
heard
one.
of that one.
I'll make a note, but if you can send a bug report in for that one, that would be great, because if you can give us more information of like what exactly was going on, what platform you're on and stuff, will give us some insight. But I've not heard of people not being able to surrender vote. I mean, some people would appreciate like their teammates not being able to surrender at times.
Are you pressing the right key?
Could we see some buffs to Executioner? So penetration is one of those things. I know we've talked about this before on the show.
Yeah.
Like it's something that we want to address, but it's going to require the changes that we want to make are going to require a pretty systematic change to basically every item in the game.
Right. How penetration basically works.
I don't know how much we've actually talked about, so I don't want to go too deep into it, but like
not too much.
A big amount of changes to a lot of things in the game all at once. Would be kind of required for what we want to do to allow us to make some changes that we want to make to penetration. And I can't say exactly when we're going to do that because it's one of those things like we have to find the right time to do it because it's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And we work on a very quick 2-week cycle, right?
Yep.
So being able to get everything that we want to get done.
And then you still have to incorporate the console side of this too. So you have to get the permissions from Microsoft, from Sony, Nintendo too? I think SMITE 2 is on Switch. If not, then disregard. So that takes time, and it has to be done at the same time as PC on Steam version. So finding that exact time frame and window, that's the most complicated thing probably, to get all this done just in one fell swoop, unless they do it incrementally and step by step here, step by step there, baby step here, baby step there, hop, skip, jump. And then they finally, once they have the actual date, they can do whatever they couldn't do on the little steps. They just do it bam on that one day. Oh, he looks like AJ Styles to you, brother. Ah, okay. Obese AJ Styles.
Just normally,
he's Austin. He's the new guy. Or, well, he's been here before, although recently he's the new guy. He's been around SMITE and high res since SMITE 1 alpha, or even before that, a little bit earlier than that. So he knows his stuff, brother. He knows what's up. A lot of wisdom we can be gained and obtained from his experience. And he's worked on UE 3, 4, and 5 on all of them. So there's a lot of knowledge he's got. To me, he looked like Jake Goodman or John Goodman That was his name, right? Sully from Monsters Inc. When he came out on Cloverfield. Yeah, John Goodman. That's his name. When he was the psycho deleter with when he has his beard there, he reminded me of him.
And all that stuff, like trying to find that
Yep, go tech.
the time to do that is challenging, but we do want to do it. You know, we have a new designer.
Oh yeah. Yup, Zach Galifianakis. Yeah, he looks similar to him too.
Starting soon, so hopefully once they get up to speed, you know, we'll have a little bit more manpower, and then we can find a good time to be able to tackle that.
Sounds good. I will say as well for the community, like we've just gone through a lot of very, very quick moments of like we just had a tenacity dampening echo, made adjustments to crit, map changes, and I think there's a lot of stuff that's in the game right now where it needs to settle a little bit. We need to kind of, in my opinion, balance it out a little bit and also give the devs a little bit more time to work on the penetration stuff in the background. If we were to do those sweeping changes in the next week or two, I think it's a lot for the casual player I want to put out there is already kind of struggling with all the changes anyway and still trying to get themselves up to speed and what's good and what's bad. So I do think giving it a bit of breathing room makes sense.
Which is the majority of the player
penetration
pool.
Changes in the future.
More than likely.
And just balance changes in general are challenging for us just because, like I said, we're on a 2-week cycle, and you kind of want to have enough time. Like, you know, we release patch, there's a bunch of changes, balance changes in there.
Yeah.
You kind of want to give that enough time to get, you know, to see what the data says, what the feedback is on those changes before you make any additional changes. So we have a really short turnaround period to be able to make any balance changes. So, like, if you see, you know, stuff where it's like, man, really, this is all they did? It's like, that's not necessarily all we intend to do for any given balance change. It's just like sometimes we just don't have enough time in that, you know, that block of time.
It's like a starting point almost. I mean, I guess the other thing for you to mention that as well, like you've worked on SMITE 1 for so long, as did I, right? The month turnaround cycle on patches to 2 weeks, and then expecting balance changes every 2 weeks is solid, but it's kind of tricky sometimes because sometimes you'll overdo it very, very quickly when there was people just haven't played with certain things enough to find other ways of dealing with situations.
There's definitely been times where, like, you know, there's been overcorrections on things where it's like, yeah, we know this needs to be adjusted, but like we didn't give it enough time to read, and it's like, okay, this is a problem, but it's not as big of a problem as we you know thought it was, right? So you know, there's a lot of that happens.
Perception versus reality.
Could you explain, like on 5, the new stats, please? Are you talking about the you know, tenacity and plating?
Yeah,
like
tenacity, dampening, plating. I think the community's kind of struggling because we've not done a very good job overall of explaining those. There is a tooltips in game with them, but nobody reads the tooltips in game.
So the simple explanation for them is pathfinding is just movement speed that you gain more of it when you are out of combat. Plating is just damage reduction against basic attacks only. Dampening is just damage mitigation against abilities only. And tenacity is just reduced effectiveness of crowd control. Like that's the simplest way to describe them, right? But like, you know, I've seen a lot of people that are kind of confused, particularly around plating and dampening, which they're really simple, guys. Like, just think about it as like, man, they got a lot of people that are auto-attacking me really hard. I'm dying to a lot of auto-attackers. Maybe I want to build some plating. Like, plating is really good against that, right? Because it's just pure DR up to a certain cap, right? But, like, it's just pure DR against that specific type of damage, right? So that's probably, like, that's the best
I don't know how people misunderstand this, man.
Nope.
Even with their initial quote-unquote poor explanation, I understood it. Like, oh, okay, I get it. Plating protects against basic attack damage. Dampening protects against ability damage. Tenacity, CCR. Super, super simple. I got it. I understood it. People probably were not paying attention when the explanation was provided. I don't know. I can't grasp my head around how they don't understand it. They want it to be further simplified when it, for the most part, was. And he said what I said when they gave out the first explanation. What more? How much further can we distill this for you to understand it? Now, at some point, it's not the explanation or the explainer's fault.
Nope.
It's your fault. You know? For whatever reason. At some point, all right, we made all these changes and the common denominator is still you. So, what can we deduce? It's you. You are still the issue. So it's something you need to figure out. Let's continue.
To look at those.
That can be applied across the board in any facet and aspect of your life as well. Like, are you the issue or is it them? Take the moment to self-reflect.
How accurate is the FPS counter in game? Mine often says 70 FPS when I'm actually getting like 200 plus frames. I would expect that's pretty accurate, but I mean, if you're getting that big of a difference, we might have an issue there that we need to look at. So, and take a note of that and take a look and see if we have some issue there.
When did the weekly quests reset? I thought it was the beginning of the week. I finished them close to the end of the week and didn't refresh until the middle or later of the week. Can the reset be moved to either Monday or a Tuesday that would align with the updates? I'll check with the team, but for the most part, I'm not 100% sure exactly when those quests reset, but I think some of it does come down to release dates of the patches. I do get the idea of like trying to do it. I think we actually give it a day or so after the new patch before those quests update, just to make sure everyone's fine with the update.
Making Mondays easy. Weekly quests.
Rat's passive gets an indicator to track the hidden timers on multi-dash and double 2. I don't know exactly what you mean by that in terms of the indicator to track the hidden timers on multi-dash and double 2.
When you can recast
I assume they're talking about just like how long you have to be able to
between dashes,
like visually communicating how long you have between the dashes. Yeah, we can maybe look into that. It's hard to like. That's another one of those where it's like being able to.
Oh no, his tablet's about to die.
Find someone's time on the effects team to go back to add additional features that were not scoped out originally, but we have done that in the past before. So
yeah, Light Nightshade, you're right.
We can see if that's a possibility, but it's not always something that we can get to immediately.
Will Doom Orb ever get its movement speed back? It feels wrong not having movement speed.
If
we were ever to add movement speed back to Doom Orb, it would actually probably be Pathfinder.
That's what I was going to say at first. I could be Pathfinder.
That's a possibility.
Yes, Zoom Orb needs to come back. Doom Orb was fun because you got movement speed. I will be satisfied if they put Pathfinding back on Doom Orb. And on the other items that they removed movement speed from. You know, bring back pathfinding into those items, because we got those items because they were fun, super useful, super good.
We're constantly evaluating where items stand or whatever, and making sure that there's no extreme outliers. So I'm not, off the top of my head, I don't know where Doom Orb currently is, but I don't remember that being particularly strong or weak, but it's one that we could look at maybe. But if we were to do that, it would certainly be pathfinding. Do
you have any favorite figures in mythology?
Favorite figures in mythology? I really like Mayan mythology is actually really cool to me, just because it's not talked about a lot. It's very it's a little bit more obscure, right?
Well, like AMC was the first. Like, I'm like, who's a Muzan Carb? I've never heard of this guy before. He's like the god of bees. This is crazy. But yeah,
so I'm a big fan of like the more obscure pantheons, just in terms of mythology, because it's like, you know, like in Smite's history, it's like when we added like Sheepalanke, is like, who's Sheepalanke? It's like half the studio couldn't even pronounce the name correctly when we were first working on him.
Xbalanque, Zablanky, X-Ball, they just shortened it to X-Ball. Sheepalanque.
So just like learning about the lore of gods that, you know, I've never heard about before is always interesting. any thoughts on reverting some of the Mirrodin changes? I feel like it's just back to a super niche, maybe buy item. Honestly, that is kind of where
It needs to be.
we want that item to live.
Be a little bit more niche.
A little bit more niche, right? Like on the gods it's good on, it's still going to be good on them, right? There are still gods in the game that's like can really make a lot of use out of Mirrodin as it currently stands, but we don't want it to be something that's like every
Must be core.
we don't want it to be a core item. Like if it's a core item, it's just too strong for what it does. You know, a lot of people would even argue that on those gods that it's still good on, it's like it's still too good, right?
Yeah.
So like that's the type of item is like, and I think that's a good place to be. Is like we want there to be a good collection of items that are more niche. Like this item is only good on a handful of gods, but it's really good on them for what they do. I think those are often the more interesting items. And like some of the weird like we had somebody that's using Jade Scepter in a playtest today, and it's just like he gets somebody in every playtest that he uses it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like no one expects the Jade Scepter. And it's like I think that's just a cool item. A lot of people aren't really using it, but like those items I think are good for the game, like especially if they're at a good balance point where you know it's not everyone's buying it or whatever, but like they do cool things and you can find some interesting ways to use them. I think that's a good place for a lot of items to live. And there should be items too that are, you know, these are often like core items. A lot of people are going to buy them. That's just part of.
Yeah.
You have to have those too, right? It has
for sure.
You have to have both of those.
That guy.
Do you ever consider changing the speed of abilities for balance?
The speed, as in.
I guess the fire abilities.
Both of those.
Do you ever consider changing the speed of abilities for balance?
The speed, as in,
I guess
the
fire,
the pre-fire, post-fire, that sort of stuff.
That's always.
Those are a lot trickier to do. Sometimes we do that, but usually they have animation implications which prevent us from doing that.
I guess some of it is like muscle memory and players' feedback of Smite 1 into Smite 2 and parity to an extent.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah, because one example is rather recent. Ishtar, her 2. Her 2 would come out super quickly in Smite 1. In Smite 2,
Nope.
it's coming out slow, at least for me. And from what I can recall, like, yo, why does this feel like boom, 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 boom? When before it was boom, 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 boom. Super fast. Oh, shoot, let's go. It was a quick deterrent against any aggressors. Or it can buy you some time when they got mez. You're like, oh, I gotta get away. But now it's like, it's a lot slower. Very, very noticeable.
Because while working on Atlas, found a lot of things that, you know, that especially once it hit PTS, I fixed a lot of things recently that we intentionally changed them when working on Atlas for Smite 2. Because they were actually bugs in Smite 1. He has a lot of bugs in Smite 1.
Damn.
Some of which we fixed, and you know they resulted in things that you know people were really familiar with Atlas. Like, no, this doesn't feel right. So we ended up changing it back.
Have you got an example of one of those by chance?
Yeah. So some of it is timing things. So like I'm trying to think of a good example here. The AO2 pull, right? When you use that in Smite 1, you can immediately basic attack somebody like as you're throwing them. Like the moment you throw them, you're basic launched, and you're basically you just completely skip the post fire on that ability in Smite 1, which was almost certainly not intentional.
So it's actually stronger than it should have been, really.
So you know, so we changed that to match like the actual timing and was locking you out of that. But we got feedback that you know people are like you know I miss having this, so we did go back and change that so now you can get that basic attack in. But like there's a lot of little things like that we ended up changing somewhat recently just based off of feedback. But like really in reality it's like those things were bugs in Smite 1. Like a lot of these things are not intended.
Lunchbox 0728 says, Austin, Hindu man won't answer my question.
What a scumbag.
Yeah,
Ninja.
what a scumbag. But let's get this answered, right? It must be really cool and important to really pull you out. Is there any way to make it where you pick which adaptive stat you get from items, like a toggle option in the shop or fountain? I hate getting intelligence on my adaptive stats as Achilles due to Discordia passive.
So that is something that we have talked about recently. We have not had any action on that. That's one of those things that like finding the time to address it, but that is something that is on our radar.
And is that just adaptive stat in general of like you can choose intelligence or strength? Is that what you mean?
It probably won't be a choice.
Yeah.
That's something that we're still investigating the best way to handle.
Discordia passive is a good example of what can cause that to be a bit frustrating, I guess.
It's some of the things where it's like there are cases where it can be frustrating, like when you're messing with adaptive stats, like out the gate, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that is on our radar. I don't know when we'll have something in for that because we're had to
the time, manpower, resources.
But it is something.
It is something that is on our mind. Yeah.
Cool. I feel bad because it's just grill you questions the whole time.
That's fine.
Much else. Real quick, we'll take a quick second as we just keep looking for a couple more questions. I will mention as well, we did talk a little bit about SMITE Prime with the May circuit coming up, but also we have the SMITE Summer Bash coming soon on SMITE Prime with more esports content. This is really focused between the period of June and August 1st. You can check this out, available on the smiteprime.com website.
Yeah,
but a bit more of a look at what esports content is going to be available over the summer. We know summer's kind of a bit of a period where getting a team consistently and
who's this supposed to be? Oh, Nuwa. I see the tats. The ink. Nuwa and Sobek, the Land Shark Sobinator. Oh yeah, this is her beach ball. Yeah. It's beach ball Nuwa. Beach babe Nuwa.
Regularly every single week's a bit trickier. So we're going to be doing a lot of tournaments with SMITE Prime there to give you a lot of opportunities to earn prizes in both NA and EU. Conquest and Joust events will be available throughout the summer period between June and August. So make sure you check that out and find some of that for you. We can go back to questions now.
Nice.
See how I did that? Just like throw it in there.
Great
take a break.
transition.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
One that I saw, Hunters don't have a great way to apply anti-heal. In SMITE 1, we had Toxic Blade or Envenom Deathbringer. Any chance we could see an anti-heal item made for Hunters. That is maybe a possibility for one that we could potentially plan to bring over from SMITE 1, potentially in some capacity.
Okay. You're giving more and more away about
no promises, but like, you know, if there are, like, the main things we're looking for are like, are gaps. We're looking for things like there are gaps and stuff that we don't have, so maybe that's a good candidate. We'd have to look at that and just see holistically if we think that makes sense. But, you know, that's one area that we're looking at. Another area that we're looking at for items, not necessarily just bringing over, but there's some items, a good example of this is like dual protection items in the game right now. There's a lot of redundancy. There's a lot of similar items, particularly, like I said, with dual protection items that just do similar things. They're slightly different. You can maybe make a case like, oh, this one's really good in this specific scenario. This one's better in this specific scenario. But they kind of do the same thing where it's just like you get a little bit of both protections and some sort of passive that is also some sort of defensive thing that you might want or whatever. They just do it slightly differently. So some of those items, you know, we might look at potentially shifting to work a little differently to fill, you know, cover more, to work a little bit differently so we have less redundancy there.
Gotcha.
Has any progress been made to get content creator guests on? No, there's been no progress made on that, Goosey, mainly because I've been out of office for a week. There's an idea of maybe bringing on a content creator or two to ask questions, but for the most part, it'd be with me and Kilgoon anyway, and for the most part, they could just ask the questions in chat. I don't really see the huge value in it. We do go over content creators and their content. If anything, it just feels like a weird grill session for both of us, and I'm not sure that really is the content. For the community, enjoy it for the drama, but I don't think it's worthwhile rather than having creators send in their questions and we discuss them the same way we've always done it personally.
So someone mentioned Freya's versus Draconic. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Two items that are just very similar in what they do.
Can you update Sylvanas Wisp's heals not stacking properly at all with Heartward Charm free use? It makes him feel bad in Assault especially. I'll have a little look into that and see what's going on with the Heartward Charms. No guarantees, but I will try and pass that one along and find out what you mean by the Heartward Wisps not doing it and giving the sustain.
Interesting.
Have we thought about doing non-conquest balance again? I feel like some gods can benefit a buff in conquest, but not in arena. How do you feel on those sort of changes?
It's really hard to find something that you can buff or nerf that will only...
It's the mic, man. It's his mic issue. That's them echoing. It's not me, chat.
Nope.
It's him. Him and his mic. I don't even know if they noticed it. I don't think they did.
Nope.
Unfortunate.
affect in a particular mode.
Gotcha. Well, we have in the past.
We have in the past,
Yeah,
yes.
have done like arena changes or like non-conquest. This is buff. This is nerfed.
Yeah. It's just really hard to find those.
Yeah, and feel comfortable with, because I guess it does change the identity as well across different game modes.
Yeah. Well, are you talking about like? Are you saying like just general balance changes that would affect them, or are we talking about this works differently in a different game mode?
That's
Oh.
yeah. So like for
I'm
example,
not sure about
that. In arena, Zeus can only detonate once every 25 seconds rather than every 7.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's even more tricky.
We have done some of those in the past,
Yep.
but it does have a knock-on effect.
Yeah. So, not saying that we would never do something like that, but that's not something that's currently on our radar.
It's way over there. Way in the back.
Gilgamesh 3 is using double his mana, which really nerfs him. That is an issue that we have actively been looking at. I think it may already fix.
It's
Yes.
fixed. I forgot to mention that on the
Hey.
show. A lot of people reached out to me going, Hindu, have someone look at this because the double mana on Gilgamesh. I did have a talk, and shouts to Rocky. You all know Rocky. But he did tell me that they did put a fix in for that. So mana cost will be normalized for Gilgamesh. Additionally, one other thing as well, a Wheelix pull. If you pull someone with a Wheelix now and they do beads it or whatever, they will lose their mana for using that.
That was the
ability.
specific change. That was actually why it took a little while to track it down. It really wasn't a Gilgamesh issue. It was actually an Wheelix issue.
Andy, you forgot to upload Wednesday's Titan Talk episode. No, I didn't. I definitely did it. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look at it now, and it's going to be like just saved as private for some reason. I'll take a look at the Titan Talk episode for Wednesday. My apologies if it's not on there, chat.
Oh, sorry, not speaking enough into the mic. My bad, guys. First time.
All good, no worries.
How was my holiday? I didn't really have a holiday. It was my birthday week, and I had a lot of things going on at home and home life to take care of. So I was like, I need a couple of days away. So that was really the reason I was out for that week. But not gonna lie, I did kind of keep an eye on what was going on and try and stay up to date, so I wasn't completely blind coming into this
So a
week.
pseudo
So,
staycation.
yeah, it was kind of like I'm out for a couple of days, but different things going on. So
Happy belated birthday.
Does Austin have a screen name? The name that like I use like on Discord, if you ever see me there, is Jakairo.
Chikairo.
Jakairo.
Where'd you get that from? Was you just
That was from. That's actually there's a character in Dota, that, and which is funny because like I played a lot of OG Dota as a Warcraft 3 mod Dota.
Yeah, the real
and
OG.
I actually despise Dota 2. Because what's
Fucking Hindu man. He's like, no, you just representing chat there for a moment. Oh, you said it. You said the thing. Some would say that's heresy. No, don't say that. Oh, dude, the Hindu's fucking great, man. He's hilarious.
in Dota, Jakairo. Like on Discord, if you ever see me there, is actually there's a character in Dota that, and which is funny because like I played a lot of OG Dota as a Warcraft 3 mod Dota.
Yeah, the real
and,
OG.
and I actually despise Dota 2. Because
Oh, dude, Hindu always gets at least one chuckle, one laugh out of me like, every time we see him. Hindu's
well, it's
great.
entirely like Dota 2 is interesting because it has turn on movement,
right?
Which that as far as I remember was not a thing in original Dota, and I hate that.
It just
Like
threw you off.
it actually ruins the game for me. So I could just never get into Dota 2 because of that. But
I was wrong. You definitely uploaded it. Thank you. Okay, YouTube is videos up. Cool. That makes me feel bad when I see that. I'm like, I swear I did it. Maybe I didn't. No, I messed up. Okay, it is approaching 2:00, and at this time, you're not going to be on the show that often, but we do go one more
question.
okay.
One more question. I'm not going to overdo it today because it's just you. It'd be really weird if it would be me every time we're on the show. So we've got time for one or two more questions real quick. Find the one that you like the best, Austin.
I've got one right here.
Is it the waffles or pancakes one?
No, we can answer that one too.
Okay.
I'll answer the serious one first, and then we can get back to that one. This question was, what's your stance on healing enchanter playstyle? Like, if you had the rain, what would you do?
Technically, you do have the rain, right?
Well, I guess sort of. But, so I personally really enjoy that playstyle. But in a game like Smite, it's really hard to balance that playstyle. We do have some that exists in Smite already, right? Like you have Umoja is kind of that playstyle, Aphrodite is that playstyle, so that does exist. But like, there are very specific constraints that you have to work in when designing a god to be that archetype, right? So it's just not something that we get to do often.
Sure.
But it is something that I enjoy. Like I enjoy playing Aphrodite support. That's fun. Umoja support is fun. But like it's tricky, right? Because you avoid some of the downsides while keeping a lot of the upside, which is like why Umoja's traditionally been a bit of a problem in some ways. So they're hard to do, but I do enjoy playing them, and that's something that like we're not opposed to doing. So that's that. And then what was it? Waffles?
Yeah, you got to answer that one too. Waffles or pancakes?
I much prefer waffles. I'm a waffle enjoyer.
That's
I think.
fair. That's fair.
They're tailor made to retain the syrup.
The syrup, yep.
Right. Like it's. I
That's
feel
true,
like
that's
a good waffle gets soggy less quickly than a pancake.
Yep.
I guess maybe this is actually a little bit harder. I think that if you have really good pancakes and eat them immediately,
Then they're good.
then they're pretty good.
But if it's a waffle and it's been out a little bit longer,
Yeah, I
take a
think
waffle.
generally speaking, waffles are better, but
makes
pancakes can be good too.
All right, let's go.
Hindu, okay, this will be my question. I'm probably take one more after this. What's your favorite thing about Austin? Honestly, I've known Austin a long time. Like since I've been here, Austin has been around, and there's not many people that have been around like that length of time that I've interacted with. Austin is really what you see is what you get in terms of he's a great human being and good at his job.
thanks, man.
But he's not on camera that often, and he's not really a social person. You're not publicly social. And there's one thing that I think you'd be great
people.
at, but I also don't think it's something you're interested in either, of being more forward-facing with the community. But know that this is a good person working on the game. Trust me, okay? I've been around long enough. And I won't say that about a lot of staff. Not that bad, terrible staff are here or anything like that. Or
Those
have been.
terrible
But,
other
like,
people.
Listen. I back Austin, okay? That's what I'm trying to get at there. And then also make you blush for some reason by saying that. What can I find?
He's got the experience. That bond has been forged through trials and tribulations. Let's go. So Austin's a great asset to the team, is what I am taking away from that. Welcome, Austin. Welcome back, I should say. Welcome back to the team. May the game improve evermore with your assist. So thank you.
Before we go, just to end it, since you made sure get passive can't reduce crit damage below the damage of non-crit, can you do the same for spectral armor passive? It makes ability crits do even less for non-crits. We did just make an adjustment to spectral already.
Yeah, so it we'll have to evaluate where it lands.
Yeah.
But like you should no longer be getting your own aura,
So
and
it
you're not
will
getting the
reduce.
aura from anybody else.
So it won't be as potent as it was.
it's not going to be as potent as it was before.
There you go. All these update changes as well, these overview notes will be available on SMITE Prime. We will release the full notes come Monday or Tuesday. Atlas will be available. And PTS is available all weekend for you all to jump on, test out, and mess around with some things and bits and pieces too. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, I mean it was
We
fun being on here. I don't know how
really
often
appreciate being on.
I'll be back, but
It's
just
however
know
you,
that
however
I'm
often
around.
you want to, but also you're always working in the back room. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Really appreciate you. Have a great weekend. And if we don't see you, we'll see you on the battleground. Goodbye.
Peach it. Hey, let's go. Another informative Titan talk. Looking forward to these changes. Excited to meet Austin for the first time. Welcome back, or welcome back to Smite 2 and Smite
Now to 340.
Smite Land. To do a one quick recap of what's to come. Nuwa nerf, Baron buff, Chalk buff, Heron buff. Let me see what else. Let me go further over here. More, a bit more. Cupid buff. Geb nerf and buff. Ishtar nerf. Let me see. More. Kepri buff and a nerf. Damage wise, everything else still great. So this is overall a buff. I'm happy with it. Medusa buff. Mercury nerf. And is that it?
Change kind of fixes both.
All right, you guys, you're about to
Mordred.
watch 180 seconds of ads. Don't forget you can use your
Fix.
Prime sub to skip through them.
Thank you. 2-minute warning, Twitchers will be gone. Pele nerf. Poseidon buff. Rat buff. Huge buff.
Enhanced healing reduce.
Is that it?
Next up is Poseidon.
And Ymir buff. Overall, a lot of love in this upcoming patch. So many buffs, very few nerfs. The nerfs are necessary though. And understood. Item balance. Boomba's nerfs. Golden Blade nerf.
That makes sense.
More protections to get the max.
And let me see. Tenacity items nerfed. So gods got buffed. A little bit of nerf here and there. Items nerfs for the most part. Shifts. A little bit of buffs here and there for some of them.
You were before the global
overall
Smite 1 now.
Right.
Buffs
This
and
is-
nerfs, man.
Is there are a couple of other
Oh, that was it. Yeah, adjustments. Tenacity items nerfed, understandably though. And then just shifts for the most part for the rest. Fix, maybe this is, I guess you could count this spectral as a nerf. This fix is a nerf. Now you can't stack spectral for the owners and have it be double effective. Then Void Shield removed and Void Stone removed the offensive stats and just strictly refocus them to be defensive items. Okay, understood. So a lot of buffs, few nerfs, some shifts here and there, and a lot of new changes coming. I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to you all. Enjoy the rest of your money day, aka Melanin Monday, aka Star Wars Day, in the year of our Lord 2026. May the Force be with you all. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to exercise. Drink plenty of water and stay hydrated. Eat healthy, nutritious meals. Get plenty of rest and sleep. Don't discard your cardio. Honor your rest days. And I'll see you all tomorrow for OB34 Atlas, the Titan of the Cosmos patch. Take care, everybody. Peace. Shout out to the live gang, replay gang in the future, and of course, Alert Squad. I'm grateful for each and every one of your support. Shout out to the chatters returning and new. The subs, bits, donations, all of your support is much appreciated. And with that, I shall bid you all adieu. Peace. Take care. Much love.